Now available in paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, Taking Care of Business. The man who rules the world breaks in a brand new partner to help him take care of business in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get John Haynes, Taking Care of Business at paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere. I got a chance to take a look at Lil Nas X's latest video, Industry Baby. And this video clearly shows me how the entertainment industry clearly has a misandristic, anti-heterosexual black man agenda, and how the entertainment industry is all part of a social engineering campaign to try to effeminize, emasculate, and in some cases homosexualize the American black man. Now, in this video, Industry Baby, we get images of Lil Nas X being sentenced to prison, and after he is sentenced to prison, we get a whole series of images of him in prison. Now, these images are quite troubling because they promote the whole idea that the only place for a black man is prison, promoting an idea that white supremacists like to see as related to the American black man, because your white supremacist wants to see the American black man at the bottom of the world, and the bottom of the world in his society is prison. Now, prison is a place where a black man basically is just like a slave, told what to do by COs, told when to get up, told when to work, and forced to work for slave wages as low as 10 cents an hour. But your Lil Nas X believes that these are the kind of images that he needs to promote inside of his videos, but he doesn't understand that these are the type of images that have been used by white supremacists to demonize the image of the black man for 2 centuries. And in addition to him going out here and putting these images of a black man in prison, he goes out of his way to effeminize those images of black men in prison by presenting images of black men wearing prison wear that is colored pink, and then as he is in the prison wearing pink, then we get images of him in a cell and images of him in the cell with guys twerking all in front of him. Now, these images are designed to not only go out here and demonize the black man's image by showing him in prison, effeminize him by wearing pink, but then go on to homosexualize the black man by presenting him in a place where he is shown with a man twerking in front of him. So instead, what they're doing with that image, they also promote the idea that the black man is attracted to other men, and that's something that is pushed by Lil Nas X all throughout the video, where he shows scenes of prison culture, like a black man going out here putting his hand in a man's pocket, and that is another part of prison culture that is connected to homosexuality in the prison, showing that that man is in a submissive position under another man. And in addition to those images, he also has a shower scene with a whole group of black men and other men dancing naked in the shower. All of these images are designed to effeminize the image of the black man, and also designed to promote the alphabet culture, and all designed to push the idea and a narrative that this is the standard for black men, because we don't see any sort of counter images to give these images any balance. Now, I find it interesting that there are no white performers out here being pushed like the way Lil Nas X is. I mean, there have been gay white performers for years, and they have never had gone out and made images like Lil Nas X. I mean, the late Liberace, as flamboyant as he was a homosexual, he never went out here and promoted any sort of image of himself in prison or prison culture. He always made himself extremely flamboyant and was openly gay and was not ashamed of it. Same thing for your late Freddie Mercury of the band Queen. He was openly gay for years, but he had an image that everybody could relate to, and his music resonated with everyone. And the same thing for the late George Michael. He was practically considered to be a hunk for an entire generation of girls in Generation X, and he came out as gay in the 90s, and people still loved him for his music. So all of those white male performers, they did not go out of their way to push certain imagery. No, they were openly gay, but they oftentimes came out here and made their music the focus of everything. But with your Lil Nas X, it looks like he has some sort of issue with black men, and he goes out of his way to present the most negative images of black men that are detrimental to the community. First, in that, I think, Montero video, he goes out of his way to demonize the image of the American black man by presenting the black man as being associated with demons and twerking on the devil. And that's another thing that your white racist loves to see, because they think that black people are less than human, and he goes out here and promotes that image of blackness, and that was a disturbing image to see of him with the devil. And in this one, he's presenting the image of a black man in prison, and when I look at his images, they all fall in line with the white supremacist whole narrative as related to trying to socially engineer the feminization of black manhood, the effeminization of black masculinity, and trying to make the black man appear to be less than. And when I look at his images, I have to say that the entertainment industry clearly has an agenda as related to the American black man, because it seems like every other day we've got an image of a black man that is either soft, effeminate, weak, or emasculated, or we get an image of a black man who is presented in a fashion where his masculinity is suspect. So we don't really get that type of suspect, like I mentioned, with your George Michael or the Freddie Mercury. I mean, those guys, they were still masculine even though they were homosexual. But when it comes down to the black man, either we get a black man going out here wearing a dress, or we get the images of black men where they are just presented in a very weak fashion. And it clearly shows me that the industry is really the problem as related to entertainment. And this industry is all about socially engineering the idea of weakness in black men. And this is why you really cannot let your children sit there and imbibe this kind of media, because once you feed your mind this kind of media, it's going to make you see yourself as less than. And I can see this having just as much detrimental effect on black children in this generation as it was in my generation when the NWA came out with the whole thug and gangsta image. Now, before that, the rap game was all positive, and it was a lot of diversity because you had comedy rappers like the late Biz Markie and Kid and Play. You had lyricists like Rakim. You had a lot of pro-black rappers like X-Clan and a couple of and others. Then you had the poetry rappers like Diggable Planets, and you had a lot of diversity and variety, and it showed us a large spectrum of black voices. But what the white supremacist wants to do is boil those voices down to the ones he wants to hear. And because he wanted to do that, in '89 he came out with Straight Outta Compton, which gave us the gangsta, and we've gone from the gangsta and the thug to the effeminized black man. And what the white supremacist wants to see is an effeminized black man on screen, because that makes him feel more secure about his place in the world and nobody challenging his power. Because if the black man is presented in an effeminized fashion, and people follow him as related to being effeminized or follow him on the road to prison, then he doesn't have anybody there to challenge him. And that's what the white supremacist wants to do, to socially engineer in the minds of young black children that they cannot aspire to be better, they cannot aspire to do better, and they cannot aspire to compete, and that the best they can be is an inmate wearing pink like your Lil Nas X, or be a thug or a gangster. That's what the white supremacist wants to put in a young black person's mind, and that's why this media made by the mainstream entertainment industry is not good for young brothers and sisters to watch on the regular. And this is why it is important to feed your children's minds positive black media from new black media platforms like the SJS Direct Imprint and many other independent black publishers out here and other people out here, because that kind of media keeps you from seeing yourself in a negative light, and it allows you to see yourself in a broader picture, and the picture you're seeing is yourself put first, yourself as a success. And when you see that type of imagery, it gives you the confidence to go out here and do better with your life and do better than what these white supremacists want you to believe, because what they want to do with this Lil Nas X is have you believing that the only place you can be is prison, and that the only place you can be is the bottom of the world. And that's why I see your Lil Nas X as a sellout and basically an agent of white supremacy, because he wants to go out here and present the most negative images of black people and not go out here and present us balanced, humanized images. He wants to go out here and get the approval of the white supremacists and do this at the expense of our people. That's why I say, again, instead of going out here and watching this kind of content, you have to go out here and support new black media like the SJS Direct Imprint and all of the other new black media platforms, because that is the only place you're going to see a positive and balanced image of yourself, a humanized image of yourself, and see that you have value to everybody around you. Now, if you want to pick up some of my positive black fiction on the SJS Direct Imprint, like the ISIS series, the E-Steam series, the John Hayes series, and the books of the Spinsterella trilogy, and other positive books like A Recipe for Success and The Thetas, you can find those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them on Smashwords, the iBookstore, and Google Play. And if you want to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, and my Cash App by clicking the link in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.
Now available for pre-order on Kindle. Stop Simping in Cyberspace. Learn how to avoid predatory females in their virtual con games with Stop Simping in Cyberspace. Pre-order your copy of Stop Simping in Cyberspace on Kindle today.